I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Are you trying to say that? What you trying to say?
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Shannon Sharpe told her that if she would lose enough weight for him, he would buy her some artificial breasts. Now that's very puzzling to me, Art, because she's already extra skinny.
He really want a 17-year-old, but he can't. He an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old. So here it is, he at the gym, working out. He's showing up at the gym with them big old black legs.
Shannon Sharpe is furious after Monique went after him during her comedy show, making jokes about his ongoing legal drama with the OnlyFans model who's suing him for $50 million. The clip of Monique roasting him has gone viral, and sources close to Shannon are saying he's not happy about it because he thought his celebrity friends would have his back. But instead, he's getting dragged. However, fans are reminding Shannon that Monique was the one who warned him months ago on Club Shay about this exact situation and told him to stop chasing after young girls who only want him for his money. But Shannon just brushed it off. Now Shannon's reputation is already in trouble, and even if he wins the lawsuit, it's not going to fix everything. His $100 million podcast deal is up in the air, sponsors are pulling back, and even his friends are backing off. But what exactly did Monique say about Shannon now that her warning came true? And why is Shannon mad at Monique when she's the one who tried to help him? Let's break it down.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
A lot of people were surprised by the recent news that Shannon Sharpe is being sued for rape. But Monique wasn't one of them. She tried to warn him before that something like this could happen if he kept messing with young women, but Shannon ignored it. So after all this drama with Shannon and the OnlyFans model popped off, fans were dying to hear what Monique had to say. Well, she finally broke her silence during a recent show on Cat Williams' Heaven on Earth comedy tour, and she reminded everyone that she tried to give Shannon advice, but he didn't want to listen. And it sounds like Monique is saying what the rest of us are thinking. Shannon brought this on himself.
Yes, I told that Shannon Sharpe, leave that white.
For context, after the news broke about Sharpe's lawsuit, a clip from Monique's February 2024 interview on Club Shay started making the rounds online again. And in this clip, Monique told Shannon he shouldn't be dating girls half his age or younger and suggested he find an older gal instead, someone more on his level who wouldn't try to use him for his money.
This dating thing, because it's Mo, is different now than when you and I.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Are you trying to say that? What you trying to say, Mo?
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at you. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me live my life.
Let me tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get you an old out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. Damn. When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, listen, you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah,
because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's gonna say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's gonna get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. So he thought I was gonna be scared. Yes, I'm talking, and I know an old gal, she'd be good to you. Her name is Elladora. Now, when you know somebody named Elladora, she's old school. Mm-hmm. Now, Miss Elladora told me to tell you. She said, I think he like red velvet.
Oh, I do.
I say, Miss Elladora, if he do like that, she said, you let him know I got something for him.
Yeah, I like
she don't have no teeth. Come on, pick your glass up and clack it for me. Come on now. These young gals will bite you.
Now, Monique has always been a polarizing figure, and some fans love her unfiltered honesty, while others think she comes off too harsh or self-righteous. But when it comes to this Shannon situation, even people who don't usually agree with Monique are admitting she was 100% right, because she was clearly talking directly to Shannon in that interview and warning him that his lifestyle and choice of women could come back to bite him. But Shannon just sat there giggling through her advice and continuing to chase after OnlyFans models. Fast forward a year later, and now he's lost his ESPN gig and could be on the hook for millions of dollars because of this lawsuit. So people are now looking back at that interview and saying Monique saw the red flags before anyone else did. One fan said, "One thing about Monique, she can tell a joke but won't tell a lie. Shannon Baldhead should have listened instead of laughing. Now look at ya, about to be crying all the way to the bank." And someone else wrote, "Shannon Sharpe deserves what happened to him. I don't know what people were telling him in his personal life, but he had at least 3 guests on his show who talked about his poor dating choices. He literally had Cat Williams, Monique, and Lil Yachty say something to him." But despite all the fallout from the lawsuit and losing his ESPN job, it seems like Shannon still hasn't learned his lesson. And sources close to him are now saying he was furious when he saw Monique using his situation as material for her comedy show. Apparently, Shannon's upset that Monique is making light of his troubles, and insiders are saying he expected his famous friends to jump to his defense. But that didn't happen, and almost no one came forward to vouch for Shannon's character, which speaks volumes. However, people aren't feeling sorry for Shannon because it seems like this lawsuit is just the final straw in a long history of reckless behavior. Shannon has been in the news for all the wrong reasons over the years, and now more things are coming to light that show his true colors. One clip that's going viral now shows Shannon losing his temper during his podcast. This happened on the April 30th episode of Nique, and while discussing the 2025 NFL draft, Shannon suddenly looked off camera and yelled, "Shut the F up."
Guess what the 2 teams that call me Ocho say, what's your phone number, where you gonna be?
Who that?
Shut the up.
But that's not all. Shannon's also under fire for saying he won't allow his daughter's wedding budget to be over $30,000. And mind you, this is the man who offered that OnlyFans model $10 million to stop her from filing her lawsuit. Shannon made these comments in another episode of Nightcap, where he and Ocho Cinco discussed how much they'd spend on their kids' weddings. And that's when Shannon said he'd limit each of his daughter's weddings to $30,000, and joked that they could serve spaghetti and fried fish instead of expensive food options.
Hey, my daughter's a budget. You got a budget. I don't get whatever you do after that.
What number, I mean, I don't want to be in your business, but what number you said?
30,000.
Okay. So you can have a wedding with 30,000?
I don't know what you can have. I ain't the one getting married. I don't give a damn. Hey, they better go get one of those hey, y'all from the South, y'all know about that fried catfish and spaghetti plate. Hey, I know somebody hooked that thing right on up. What they charge by the plate? $10.50 a head. Spaghetti, fried catfish, a piece of cornbread, and a styrofoam cup of sweet tea. That's all you get. Man, I'm not finna go. Hey, just because they so. Oh hell, no, man, I wish I might.
Of course, it didn't take long before fans started dragging Shannon over these comments and pointing out that Shannon literally admitted in those leaked texts that the OnlyFans model was charging him $25,000 for each cheek. One fan said it needed to happen to expose how much of a hypocrite Shannon is. He lost the little respect he had for others. Now he's done, willing to give an ex-worker millions of dollars, but his own daughter $30K for her wedding. But it gets even messier. Fans are calling out Shannon for engaging in some type of race play fetishized relationship with that OnlyFans girl, Gabriella, after those texts he shared showed her talking to him in a weird, racially charged way. In the messages, Gabriella said she wanted Shannon to put a big black baby in her. However, Shannon didn't share his part of the conversation, and fans are convinced this whole race play thing was his idea. After all, Gabriella's a paid worker, and she was probably just doing what Shannon requested from her.
And just one more thing about Mr. Sharpe. Not so sharp, clearly. It is my theory, just my opinion, my theory, not fact, my opinion. I think all of this RACE rhetoric that was in those text messages started with him. It started with him. It's becoming more and more clear to me, in my opinion, that he has a race fetish. He has a fetish for that type of dynamic. Think about it. This was a 19-year-old white woman when he met her. I don't know any 19-year-old white woman that's running around hollering about a big black baby and baby gravy. Shannon was a 54-year-old big black grown man from the backwoods of Georgia. Gravy sound like some he
he's familiar with. Big black babies, he probably seen a few in his day. Born in the backwoods of Georgia where he grew up with his grandma and all the other folks. But I just don't think that came from her. Now, is she repeating it back in those text messages? Yes, that's why he released her messages, not his. Peep that. Okay, we haven't seen what his responses was, and I guarantee you, when they post those messages, y'all gonna see. All of that race started with him. It's a fetish, and he could only play that kind of stuff out with a young girl. He couldn't, like Monique was trying to tell him, get an older gal. Older gal ain't going for that. They was going immediately knew he was a freak and a weirdo. A 19-year-old don't know no better. That's why she repeated it back to him, because he said it to her first. Older men, that's why they tend to want to be with younger women. They're more impressionable. They can mold them. They can shape them to be what they want them to be. Do what they want them to do. You let him come to a 40 or 50-year-old woman talking about put a big black baby and baby gravy. We gonna be looking like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, that started with him. Mark my words, it's gonna come out. But that race stuff started with Shannon.
Meanwhile, more clips are starting to surface showing that Shannon has always been a weirdo when it comes to women. In one clip that's now making the rounds, Shannon said he wanted a woman so bad he paid for her divorce because he felt she was the one. And yet his daughter has to be on a budget for her wedding day.
Nah, I was once dating this chick, right, Skip, and she was married, but she was getting a divorce. I knew I wanted her. I said, you know what? I'll pay for the divorce because I believe she was the one. That's what I did. I said, why you arguing about this? He wouldn't sign the papers. I said, why you arguing about this little bit of money? I gave her the money, filed the divorce because I believe. I keep it 100 with y'all here, Skip, but I did that.
And then there's also this clip where Shannon's sharing a freaky story about another woman he was with, and he even managed to leave Deion Sanders speechless.
And this is an absolute true story. I put this on everything. I was having sex with this young lady.
Hold on. Paint the whole picture now. Don't cheat me.
Don't cheat me either.
Okay.
I want details.
We're having
details.
Sex. We're having
Position?
Yeah.
You know I'm the back.
Hey. Oh Lord Jesus. She ain't do it, but she don't know she did.
Let's go, bro.
No, she did.
That is not. Oh, and what I'm about to say is 1,000%.
Talk to me, baby.
So she passed
Yes,
gas. She said, excuse me. I said, that's right. Do it. Yes, she passed gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then she looked back and say, excuse me.
No.
Yeah.
How she do it?
Time. She said, excuse me. I said,
you
that's
right,
all right, baby. I
take
generally
that
make him do it. Hey, she said, excuse me. I said, that's all right, baby. I generally make him. It kept going. I'm with it. I'm hell with it, time. I'm hell with it, time.
Hey. Come on, baby.
Y'all nasty, man.
They talk.
Both of y'all nasty, dog.
Hey.
I swear. I swear.
No, I know you ain't nasty.
Fist bump.
No, don't do that. Don't y'all ain't no good. That ain't Shannon. That's not. Don't do that. Y'all nasty.
And if you look at the comments, a lot of fans are saying this is exactly why they stopped watching Shannon and Ocho's show, because Shannon was always talking about his weird bedroom escapades, and nobody want to hear that, especially not from a nearly 60-year-old man. Meanwhile, more industry figures are calling out Shannon and saying he should have known better than to mess with a 19-year-old. One of them was Dr. Umar, who said that even if this lawsuit is a shakedown, Shannon still had no business getting involved with someone that young, and he should have seen the red flags when Gabriella allegedly refused to sign an NDA.
You would think that in the aftermath of all of these cases that's going on, that Shannon Sharpe or any black male celebrity for that matter will conduct themselves in a more responsible manner. So what do we know about this situation? According to Gabriella Zuniga, she met Shannon Sharpe at a gym in Los Angeles approximately 2 years ago, 2023. Now, Shannon alleges that he tried to present her with an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, which every celebrity should require from anyone they engage with. Well, guess what, Art? She decides she's not going to sign the NDA. That right there was a warning to Shannon Sharpe that this 19-year-old, who you shouldn't be dating anyway because of her age, because of her race, you need to end this. If she don't want to sign an NDA dating a celebrity, you know what that means. That means if this doesn't go her way, she's going to expose you. Shannon Sharpe should have ended it right there. The problem was she fit his type. Obviously, Uncle Shay, he likes Caucasian women, as we all know, and he likes them very skinny, which I didn't know. And the reason I'm saying that is the pictures that are floating around the internet on Gabrielle Asu Ninjas is the pictures of a very petite Caucasian woman who, not being disrespectful when I say this, appears to be built like a 13, 14, 15-year-old child. And according to her, allegedly, Shannon Sharpe told her that if she would lose enough weight for him, he would buy her some artificial breasts. Now, that's very puzzling to me, Art, because she's already extra skinny, extra petite, no booty, no breasts, no nothing. Why would you want her to lose any more weight? So from that, we can gather that Shannon Sharpe's type is an extra pale, extra skinny Caucasian. He definitely don't like them 5'5" thick in the thighs like Dr. Umar. He don't want butter almond. He don't want butter pecan. He don't want fudge, cinnamon, mahogany. He don't even want African vanilla, African butterscotch, African lemonade. He wants some pale and skinny. I want him brown chocolate and curvy.
So after everything that's come out about Shannon, fans aren't feeling sorry for him at all. And a lot of people are saying he has no right to be mad at Monique for cracking a joke about his situation, especially since she actually tried to help him when she gave him that real talk on Club Shay. She really warned him, but he didn't want to listen. He laughed it off and kept doing what he wanted. So now that things have blown up in his face, folks are saying he's just dealing with the consequences of his own choices. And based on the latest reports, those consequences are looking pretty serious. Gabrielle is asking for $50 million in damages, and it's not clear if his current net worth can handle that kind of financial hit. Celebrity Net Worth estimates Shannon's net worth at around $30 million. He made about $22.5 million during his time in the NFL, with his biggest payday being $5 million from the Baltimore Ravens as part of a 4-year deal worth $13.8 million. These days, Shannon reportedly earns about $10 million a year through a mix of podcasts, brand deals, media work, and his own luxury cognac brand, Le Portier. But even so, he's still behind his First Take co-host, Stephen A. Smith, whose net worth is around $45 million. Stephen A. recently grabbed headlines after landing a 5-year, $100 million deal, making him one of the top-paid analysts in sports, just behind Tom Brady.
Your ESPN contract,
yes, sir,
is up next year. And the word on the street is that you want something in the range of $100 million for 5 years.
Right.
True?
It ain't false. I always want as much money as I can get. I'm not going to apologize to that. I'm a capitalist. What I would say to you is I would ask respectfully, pay attention to the industry. See what people are getting paid. See how much money they're making and what they're bringing to the table. Look at their ratings. Look at their revenue that they're generating and look at mine.
And here's the wild part. Shannon was actually close to closing his own $100 million deal before that lawsuit dropped. But now it could go either way. Before Gabriella filed her complaint, Shannon was in talks for a huge podcast deal, which would have included all of his Shay media shows, including Club Shay, Nightcap with Chad Johnson, Club 520 Podcast, The Bubba Dub Show, and Humble Baddies. On April 18th, just 3 days before Shannon was named in Gabriella's lawsuit, Front Office Sports reported that Shannon was expected to sign a deal that would exceed $100 million. However, that deal's now on hold. And if it falls through, it'll be a major loss for Shannon. On top of that, the outcome of the lawsuit is still hanging over him. And if he loses, people are wondering if he's even made enough money over the years to handle a $50 million payout. Now, to be clear, even if the case doesn't go in Sharpe's favor, Gabriella might not end up getting the $50 million that she's demanding. Civil lawsuits involving SA are often hard to win, especially when the line between consensual behavior and alleged wrongdoing isn't clear. And there's also a chance Sharpe won't be found responsible at all, and he could even end up walking away without having to pay anything. But even if Shannon wins the lawsuit and walks away without paying a dime, the damage to his reputation is already done. We've all seen those texts and heard that audio of Shannon threatening to choke Gabriella.
Anything I say, you're just gonna get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like...
I'm not gonna hang up on you. It is what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
I don't know that person. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke the out of you when I see you. Thank you.
No, I don't want to be true.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice.
So even if Shannon wins in court, it doesn't erase what people now know about how he moves behind the scenes. This situation isn't just about legal guilt or innocence, it's about image. And that's the real cost here. Employers like Disney, which owns ESPN, just don't care if you're found guilty in court. They care if your name starts trending for all the wrong reasons. They care about headlines and public opinion. And right now, Shannon's a liability, and many companies will think twice before attaching themselves to him, even if he's legally in the clear. Now, of course, it's possible Shannon will bounce back. He's built a strong following, and people love a redemption arc. But that path is going to be longer and harder now because of his own actions. He ignored all that advice from people like Monique and Cat Williams, surrounded himself with the wrong people, and got caught up in a situation he should have known better than to entertain. He seriously messed up when he got involved with this young OnlyFans model, not just because of the age gap, but because of the power dynamic and the weird racial fetishism. And you know, companies like Disney don't want that type of stuff attached to their brand. But what's your take on all this? Does Shannon Sharpe have a real shot at bouncing back from this drama, or is the damage too deep? And as for Monique, do you think Shannon has the right to be mad that she's making jokes about the situation? Or is it fair game since she literally warned him and he didn't listen? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't miss out on this next video.